Thank you. I'm Jeff Stoll. I don't have a caveat to put up on the screen, and it kind of concerns me. Actually, that's it. That's my slide. Okay. We're going low tech for my presentation, but I don't have any legal warnings or anything. It kind of concerns me. Maybe I should, but I am glad to be a representative of the industry on the panel today, and it's interesting that this whole symposium is kind of in a picture of a public health system. The folks on this panel, state and local, academia, and certainly all the presenters involved, and probably a rich mixture of backgrounds in the audience. We all have a different role in public health, and the whole concept of the public health system is kind of built on the concept that public health takes a village to pull it off. And I think this whole symposium is a demonstration of that, and it's been a great day. I am, as I said, I'm Jeff Stoll. I'm an independent public health consultant, but I am currently contracted by Coloradans for Responsible Energy Development, or CRED. And CRED is a nonprofit organization that was established by Anadarko Petroleum and Noble Energy for the purposes of educating the public about oil and gas development and fracking. It's my charge for the remainder of my presentation here to inform you about the industry perspective on our current activities, priorities, emerging issues, and challenges for the industry. First, I'll highlight activities in which industry's been engaged, and as I mentioned, through CRED, industry has been heavily involved in education. The industry is probably at least 5 years behind in getting its word out to the public about the practices, procedures, responsibilities, as well as its contributions to communities. And much like public health, industry hasn't done a very good job about bragging itself up and educating the public about the important role that we have in our communities. In this effort, CRED developed the website cred.org, where the public can find facts and information about oil and gas development, and from there they're linked to original articles and direct sources for their own verification. CRED is also reaching out to local public health officials to aid them in working with their communities by providing them with an orientation to oil and gas development. Another resource that's available for education purposes that the industry provides is studyfracking.com, another website with a lot of good information. Informing the public and our partners has pretty much become a second job in industry. Secondly, I'll discuss the priorities. Industry's priorities in Colorado is the safe and efficient extraction of energy resources. Oil and gas industry needs to continue producing oil and gas and do it in a way that is protective of the environment and beneficial to our cities, counties, and state. Oil and gas development has been an evolving practice since the first oil well was drilled in Pennsylvania and fracturing technology began in 1940s. It's the desire of industry to have the same opportunity as in the past and as other businesses have had in their development to continue to evolve and adapt with the new technology, increasing efficiency and productivity, and meanwhile studying and mitigating impacts on the environment and health. This has been the course for industry and its partners, especially in the past decade, and former Governor Ritter addressed that pretty well in his speech. But again, Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission has restructured, providing public health with a voice in the governance, as well as other key agencies. Interagency roles have been better defined and clarified over the years, and some of the most protective regulations in the U.S. have been passed. These regulations requiring disclosure of fracking fluid content on the fracfocus.org website, encasement of all wells with several layers of steel and concrete to protect drinking water sources, monitoring of groundwater unique to only 3 states, including pre- and post-drilling water sampling that's unique to Colorado, reclaiming land to its pre-drilling condition as recently as February, and there was some discussion of this earlier about where industry teamed with environmental groups and the Hickenlooper administration to pass some of the strictest methane, first time in the nation, methane regulations. So this is the public health system in action. The bottom line, of course, is very important to industry, and when it comes to profits, oil and gas is comparable to all other businesses. In fact, it enjoys less income on the average than its neighbors. 7.1 cents of net income per dollar of sales compared to 8.6 for all other manufacturing. Protecting that modest margin does then become a priority. Another thing that is a priority for industry is the 9.2 billion people that industry employs nationally and 600,000 or so in Colorado. These are all individuals and households that live and contribute to their communities in which they work and live. And along with their neighbors, they desire to work and live in communities with good services, schools, roads, and clean water and air. And to that end, the oil and gas industry pumps about $30 billion into Colorado's economy. For individuals and households, Coloradans enjoy up to 25% less on their energy bills than elsewhere in the U.S. And then it was only in the beginning of the last decade that local public health lost $5 million in funding for local health departments due to receding economy at the time and resulting in many critical state and local programs being cut. The fact that this funding has since been restored and increased is perhaps, I'm not an economist, but perhaps a testament to a recovering economy. But I can't help to suspect that the $985 million that oil and gas contributes to local and state tax revenue annually may also contribute to that success as well. Bottom line is important to industry. I think it's also important to our public health partners. Thirdly, I'll discuss emerging issues for the oil and gas industry. The largest threat to energy production in Colorado are the looming ballot initiatives, which would outright or effectively ban fracking, as this practice is necessary in about 90% of wells. There are 2 types of initiatives on the ballot for voters this fall, any of which would ultimately ban oil and gas production in Colorado. The first is the straightforward increase in setbacks between wells and occupied structures, effectively closing any available space to the opportunity for future oil and gas development. The second type of initiative to ban development is guised in local control. These initiatives would give local governments the right to regulate or ban operations currently handled by the state. Local regulation of the oil and gas development would result in crippling complexity and inconsistency in the statewide regulatory framework. The truth is, before drilling, oil and natural gas companies are required to work with local governments and nearby residents to ensure their energy and environmental needs are met and address any concerns. Many counties that have a established oil and gas presence over the years know this level of bureaucracy would not be necessary. According to a recent study of the University of Colorado, a statewide fracking ban would prove damaging to the Colorado economy, setting the state back an average of 93,000 fewer jobs and $12 billion lower gross domestic product in the long run. Finally, what are the challenges that oil and gas industry faces? As in the words of FDR, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. The greatest challenge for the oil and gas industry is to help the public overcome fear and bolster their confidence in the public health system. It is important that the public be provided with good information that correctly describes the practices, procedures, and protections that are employed in the production of oil and gas, and processes that are in place at the state and local level through which concerns can be mitigated. This is Colorado's public health system at work to assure our communities meet their basic energy needs, maintain an adequate bottom line, and enjoy a safe and healthy environment in which to work and play. Also, at the end of the day, the public needs to understand that there is no such thing as risk-free life, and potential impacts from oil and gas need to be presented in the context of everyday risks that we all easily accept in the conduct of our lives as we go to work, we drive our cars, fly in an airplane, or enroll our children in contact sports at school, or even just cross the street. Fear could destroy our lives if we let it. The challenge for industry and its public health partners is to provide a calm voice with good information, working with each other, and that information that monitors and identifies potential impacts in a context of relative risk. To summarize, I have attempted to inform you of the industry perspective. Our activity has been focused on education. Our priority is responsible, safe, and efficient extraction of oil and gas for the benefit of all. And our emerging issues are the numerous ballot initiatives that would effectively stop oil and gas development in Colorado. And our challenge is to calm the fear of the public with good information. So in conclusion, as your partner in the public health system, I ask you to partner with us, to continue partnering with us in our efforts to educate the public and support us in our efforts to responsibly develop energy, which provides the fuel for our lives and support for our communities. Thank you.